I don't know that there's a YouTube safe way to explain this other than to be very specific in some of the videos you're going to see here. The Harris-Walz campaign is so desperate to get young men to vote for her that they're doing things that not only don't belong in a presidential campaign, they don't belong in any form of polite society. The first thing they're doing is encouraging women to view their husbands as tyrannical mental abusers, if not physical abusers, who want to control the women's ability to vote. That voting for Kamala Harris is a secret act of rebellion against your disgusting, smirking, all-controlling, horrible caveman of a husband you're forced to stay married to because there's no way to get a divorce in this country. And smirk with your sisters as you defy your husband. The other moves society towards, you know what, we need to protect the right of young men to watch videos of people having sexual relations on their phones. We need to protect that and expand access to it because the Republicans, they want to sneak into your, and I don't even think it's a bedroom, honestly. I think it's mom's couch that makes it more gross because it's, I think, mom's couch. Yep, I'll show you both of these things. Totally corrupt. Our financial system matches this stuff. You can match a nation's morality to its finances and its finances to its morality. Because when nothing is forbidden, all things are allowed. So we are allowed to monkey with our economy in such a way that deficit spending, think of this, our deficit spending of 7% is an economic positive when it's reported into our spending in GDPs. It actually counts as a positive. We're spending all this time servicing our debt. Should it count as a positive? The other end of this spectrum is all the money that leaves our country in the form of payment for fentanyl or human trafficking or trafficking in people for sexual reasons. That's an underground economy in the hundreds of billions of dollars that's not reported when it goes out of the country, but it's reported when it is laundered back into the country through banks that have federal approval that know this is laundered money. And in fact, they call it high-risk transactions. They know that. It's corrupt. Your retirement account was probably not created for such a corrupt system. It's probably not elastic enough. It may not have enough risk management in it, which in my judgment requires active management of every single portfolio, which is what my friend Zach Abraham does, he and his firm at Bulwark Capital Management. They actively managing every portfolio, which can reduce risk of volatility, and they focus on risk management. They are giving a free live webinar, the first one post-election. Zach will talk about who's going to be president and what that's likely to do to the economy in his eyes, though he can't predict the future. This is free to attend. You have to register. It's coming up November 22nd at 3:30 Pacific. Go to knowyourriskradio.com. That's KNOW, knowyourriskradio.com to get into this free live webinar with Zach Abraham.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.
Thank you, friend Russ Simber, for making that tantalizing announcement. This is the Kamala Harris campaign utterly desperate for young men and women. We'll start with the ad to women. Go defy your disgusting caveman, sweaty, stinky, smelly, loud, horrible, child-abusing, money-grubbing, controlling freak of a husband you're not allowed to divorce because Orange Man bad.
You still voting for him?
Look at the smirks.
Yeah. What about your wife?
She doesn't like him, but she's voting for him.
Same with mine.
Smirk, smirk, smirk. And in we go to the voting area because of course, people vote in person. Forced mail-in balloting and people vote in person. Oh, and he smiles and he goes, and his wife's smiling. They're getting their pens. His smirk is gone. He's smiling. The wife is smiling too, compliant-like. The men go over to their voting station. Oh, the women's faces have changed. Oh, the men are smirking at each other. Bro, the women looking secretly, conspiratorially. Kamala. They whisper to each other, Kamala, and the other women know. Oh, we're all in here defying our husbands. We're doing it secretly. Your vote is secret. He'll never know. It's almost like an affair. He'll never know. It's just one time in Phoenix or whatever city. That's what it's intended to be. Hey, who was the first divider of families? Do you think that there might have been a conversation between Adam and Eve when they got kicked out of the garden? Why did you eat the fruit? Why didn't you tell me you were here longer? And there came the division. Satan, the original divider of families, still doing that. And the Harris-Walz campaign doing it in a political ad. Well, if this works, truly, Kamala, I tell you, you have had your reward. They're also desperate for young men. So instead of going on the Joe Rogan program, which reaches more young men than any program in the world, they decided to put this ad out. And if you're watching this with young people, please, please, please be mindful. It's quick, but it's nasty. Here's the setting for people who are listening and not watching. I'll do a play-by-play, hopefully in YouTube's safe manner. Young man looking like he's laying back on what I believe to be mom's couch. And you can guess what he's watching on his phone.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning porn nationwide.
You can't tell me what to do. Get out of my bedroom, you creep.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just gonna watch and make sure you don't finish illegally.
Finish what? Well, the conclusion of, abusing your parts. So instead of going on the Joe Rogan program, instead of going to make her case to young men, instead of, say, getting in a live town hall, on Twitter-X and reaching young men that way, she wants them to, reach themselves. Porn destroys families. Porn destroys men. When men become addicted to porn, it destroys their ability to have normal sexual contact. Oh, we have to blank the porn word out, don't we? Sorry for all the extra work. When men get addicted to that stuff, it makes it impossible for them to have normal physical relations with their wives. Makes it very difficult because their pleasure centers have been overwritten to expect more and more extreme things. This is manifested in something like 3/4 of girls who've had their first young experiences physically with boys or men either being choked or being asked if it's okay to choke them. When did choking become part of affection? It's not affection. It's abuse. That media activity is also responsible for developing an appetite for human trafficking for illicit purposes. Is that YouTube safe? Their platform, their rules. The Kamala Harris campaign is desperate for young men, but they have no message. They have no plan. They only have the same offer that Satan had. Surely you won't die.